Hello, Mr. Brown.
Hello, Mrs. Brown.
And welcome back, people. And we are here today to continue the conversation regarding the 12 unhealthy foods you should avoid. And today we're going to focus on well done meats and why those should be avoided because they are detrimental to your health. Now, I will say that I mentioned that I was a vegetarian in one of my last episodes. I am not a vegetarian anymore, but I don't eat red meats, and that's just a personal choice. I do eat poultry, but today we're talking about why well done meats are not good for you and why you should avoid them.
Right. And we're not trying to convince you one way or another what you should or shouldn't eat as far as your choice of meat or not. But we do want you to know that red meat is an excellent source of protein and essential lipids, which are fats that are constituents to cell building. They contribute to cell membranes and is what holds your cells together. Of course, they're also a good source of B12, and if you get grass-fed meat, then they're a good source of omega-3s. However, the bad thing about red meat is when it is overcooked or well done, especially to the point where the fat is burned. Because when the fat becomes burned, say as in barbecued meats and that sort of thing.
Or what about those bacons, the crispy edge bacon that I used to eat when I was at home with my mom? I used to love that. I realized, that is burnt fat.
When the fats are burned, then they create a toxic substance. Mm-hmm. And that substance is called heterocyclic amines, as well as acrylamides. Now, these fats, they actually become carcinogens, and they are major contributors to 3 types of cancer. What are those, babe?
Yes, that would be prostate cancer, breast cancer, and colon cancer, 2 of which have affected my family. And maybe you are being affected by this dreaded disease, or someone that you know and love is suffering. And it's really needless for us to suffer once we understand why certain foods are to be avoided, and preparing foods the right way can really help you in those areas.
Now I want to actually examine acrylamides for a minute, which is another substance that comes as a result of that burnt fat. Acrylamides is a substance that occurs, which is also carcinogenic, when carbohydrates, sugars, and starches are elevated to the temperature of 248 degrees Fahrenheit or above. Now that occurs where?
Well, we all know that snack foods like crackers, pretzels, potato chips, and even pie crust that's burned to a certain degree will have these acrylamides in them.
And particularly we want you to know that potatoes always contain the highest amount of acrylamides when they are cooked, baked, fried, however you cook them.
Like French fries.
And what else?
Potato chips.
Which is common. Everybody loves potato chips, but you may want to try avoiding that salty snack as much as possible.
We all know, I think a lot of people realize, I talk to a lot of people about health and food, and a lot of people will say to me that they know that they're eating foods that are not good for them or that are not healthy, but what they may not know and what you may not know is that these are the reasons why, and that's why we're doing these videos, so that we can share that truth with you, and then you can do with it what you may.
Right. God designed the system. Now you are responsible. You have the knowledge, okay? You must protect your temple. It's a good place for you to be right now, your earth suit. So one day you're going to have to abandon it.
So in the meantime, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening in. Please leave comments below. We love you, and peace out.
Love you. Bye.